Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, thank you for joining. I guess if I was going to title this video, it would be Things That Were Useful for Glenn. And that I'm hoping that you'll take away something that you'll find that is a permission slip for yourself, as Bashar says, that will be useful for you out of these things that I've used over the years. Most of this stuff is very recent, probably in the last year that I picked it up. I guess my favorite is Bashar's threshold of believability, where you you come to a point and there's tons of information out there on that, and then you can get them on his website as well, where you basically, do I believe I can have this thing in 10 years? Yes. Well, 5 years? Yes. 3 years? And then you go through your belief system, and I've done it, and I've been very brutally honest with myself. And as an energy state, there's a lot of stuff going out of your energetic body when you're really honest with yourself and you go through those things, because you are crushing through all your ego and your belief systems and getting them aside so you can reintegrate as a holistic being. But that is probably my favorite. He has another tool, besides the threshold of believability. There's circumstances don't matter, only my state of being matters. Basically, matter to energy. When you're going through that, and you're in a point of neutrality, and Adronis talks about neutrality as well. They all talk about neutrality, but he really gets into it. Adronis really gets into it as well. Is that it's not that you're not empathetic to another person. You just realize that they're going through their game, they're learning, and that their soul is learning, that they're forever, that you're creating all your own realities in this moment. And with that higher state of understanding, there's no reason to mourn for them or to be unhappy for them, because they chose to experience what they're experiencing. It's not that you're cold or unempathetic. It's neutrality. It is true neutrality. More higher density beings, and we're going into fourth density. That is a higher density state, and it's not that you're uncaring or and not empathetic. It's that you understand what they're doing, and you love them unconditionally enough to let them do that. And that's probably the biggest leap, to integrate yourself as a full holistic being in this idea of going to first contact. And I'm hearing, I'll do another video on this, but that the date of 2020 could actually be pushed earlier. I heard something from Bashar, not recently. It wasn't from Bashar, it was from the Essassani collective oversoul, the oversoul of all the oversouls of the Sassani homeworld. It's like, ooh. So get within your highest excitement, because the wave is, it seems, I didn't see the rest of the video, but it seems like it's accelerating quicker than originally anticipated. So, there's another one that Bashar has, the 1111, the mirror exercise. There's two different ones in that exercise, and I forget which. If you ask, if you go on to Bashar's website and you go to the contact and you ask them which one it is, they'll tell you. Where there's one exercise where you're doing a parallel reality exercise, and you're one of the ones in the 11, and there's two pairs of 11, and you do an exercise through a mirror, and you work with a version of your own parallel reality self to intend things that you want and reflect them back. And it is a meditative exercise, and it is meant to hold that energy state for that 15 minutes. And it works really well. I've actually had an occasion when I was thinking about after I've done the exercise where I had a really strong reflection of unconditional love. And there's another one where he works on what we would call a psychomantium, where you use an actual mirror, and you use it to use a picture of yourself, the picture in the mirror, as a representation of your higher self. And you learn to talk to your higher self to create a higher energetic connection. So we don't have to go to channels, because there won't be channeling in the future. You're going to have all the information you need from yourself as an integrated, full, holistic being. Now there will be channeling, but there won't be channeling in the way it is now, asking the type of questions. It'll be more peer-to-peer conversations and asking a lot of questions. And there'll physically be a lot of extraterrestrials here. Let's see. Expect the miracle, you are the miracle. I forgot that was Hathors, or it was one of those collectives that had come through. I think it was the Hathors. In any case, to remember that you are an infinite being in a timeless reality that knows everything that it needs to know. And that you are a miracle. And as far as the universe and the galaxy and all the multidimensional planes of all that is concerned, this is a miracle. To go from great darkness to go into great light, to my understanding, has never happened in this way before. It's been tried and boom, you know, whoops. And then you have the Greys, another version of our parallel reality selves that didn't quite make it, that spun off into a state where, you know, they couldn't reproduce through their own genetics anymore because they lost that ability and they lost their emotionality. And they created the 5 other civilizations, the hybrids, to be a remembrance for us, to give us a chance to go into the light, because they saw that that was a possibility or a probability. So the threshold leave ability is probably one of the best tools. And the other one from Bashar is circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters. I think I covered that. This is one from the Pleiadian Collective, the 9th or 12th dimensional. Don't remember which. I no longer use the past as a point of reference, and it is basically so that you don't really adhere to, because you were in a 4th density state, a very early 4th density state. We are there now. However, we still project a lot of 3rd density states, that we still think of the past in the way that we used to think of the past, and we still use those points of reference. So no longer using the past, which is just another parallel reality stream, as my point of reference. You could have infinite ability to access anything that you want at any moment, because you're already unglued. Your cellular structure, Adronis was saying that your cellular, and Bashar and everybody's saying that our cellular structure is less physicalized. It's already kind of, not totally quasi-physical, but it's a lot less physical than it was before, and it's ramping up in these years right now. And Bashar has another exercise to make a list of pros and cons, and I forgot what the name of the exercise is. It has something to do with, let's see, I believe it was within one of these exercises where he goes over the 9 levels of consciousness. I think it was in the 9 levels of consciousness. And you make your pros and your cons, because it is a permeable membrane. They can pass back and forth depending on what kind of attachment. You know, if you're not doing neutrality on what you're actually seeing, you can start pushing the things that are, you know, that you don't want into the things that you want. You know, they push back and forth. And that's a really good exercise. Now there's tons and tons of more, but those are the ones that I kind of immersed myself in. Bashar and others have suggested that you immerse yourself into a tool that works good for you, for your matrix, and that kind of works in to what you're trying to achieve as far as a permission slip. And a funny thing comes to mind is I've got some things on what's up with the hat. Well, at this point in time, I need a haircut, and I've been too lazy to go get a haircut, so the hat's to cover my man-throw going on under there at this point in time, just so you know. But I think that covers all the basics. I'm going to do a couple other videos. There's something, that one thing, excuse me, that I saw from Bashar. At first it was disconcerting that the timeline might be bumped up, but you know, that's actually exciting, because we are integrating faster and faster as a collective. So to keep up with that collective, you really do have to follow your highest excitement at this point in time, and start following and doing some exercises. One of the reasons I'm doing this video is immerse yourself into an exercise or exercises that are permission slips for you. Now, the other things I do on a daily basis, the transformative shifting exercise from Bashar, and you can find that on his website. I do all the time. I try to do it on a daily basis, but it doesn't quite become daily. But I do have a crazy good dream states when I do it. Is the holotrope experience, and then I find one of the meditations that I like from anyone, Bashar included, and I just do the holotrope, and then I put an audio over it. And the last one is, of course, the sacred circuitry, because when you do the sacred circuitry, what they were conveying and what Bashar was saying is that you get a bump in collective consciousness. You're not just helping your own matrix, you're helping the collective matrix when you do the sacred circuitry. And I thought that was cool. It's like, really? I'm actually helping collective consciousness by doing a singular exercise, which helps me and helps the collective. So that is a very type 1 entity type of idea. recognizing that the all are the one and the one is the all, that you're helping the collective by doing something as an individual matrix. I think that pretty much covers it. Tons of other things I could get into, but those 3 exercises from Bashar are very powerful. The transformative shifting particularly kicks up synchronicity, and the flow, which is number 8 in the sacred circuitry, and the last 3, 13, 14, and 15, I've heard Bashar said that those are very accelerated as well. And so even if I don't have a lot of time, I'll do number 8 and I'll do the last 3. Now again, you don't have to do them all in one shot. You can do them in different orders once you've done all of them for 3 days. Again, you can grab that from Bashar's website, and it explains how to go through it and whatnot. I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, message me, leave messages on the videos. I answer them all. If you want a session for coaching or life coaching, I'm here. I offer free hour sessions just to see if there's a match energetically. I think that covers it. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for coming on this journey for 4th density state, something that is unique in space and time that hasn't been done before. I'm going to do another video on this, but I'll preface this that there's, and I've heard it a couple different times, even from one of the old books from the 90s now, that this is a planet coming to completion, and the founders of this universe that brought human life, well, the founders who seeded human life in this universe were from a universe that had reached completion. And I like that idea. I want to hear more about that idea of completion. What is that whole idea of completion? So thank you very much for watching. Love and light. Have a fantastic day.